Welcome to Hexed Truths, where we dive into the darkest corners of the unexplained. Imagine this. It's the 1970s and you're parked with your sweetheart on a quiet lover's lane just outside a city that looks like it's straight out of a fairy tale. The stars are out, the air is warm, and then, out of nowhere, a monster strikes. No warning, no mercy. This isn't a horror movie. This is the Monster of Florence, Italy's most chilling unsolved serial killer case. From 1968 to 1985, this phantom hunted couples in the hills of Tuscany, leaving behind a trail of 16 bodies, countless theories, and a mystery that still haunts Italy today. Was it one killer, a cult, a cop? Buckle up, because we're unraveling a case that makes the Zodiac Killer look like an open book. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get hexed by the truth. Let's set the scene. Florence, Italy. Think rolling hills, Renaissance art, and wine country. It's the kind of place you'd see on a postcard. But from 1968 to 1985, it was a hunting ground. The Monster of Florence targeted couples parked in secluded spots, what Italians call lovers' lanes. Sounds familiar, right? Like something out of a small-town USA urban legend. Except this was real, and it was brutal. The first known attack hit in August 1968. A couple, Barbara Lacci and Antonio Lobianco, were shot dead in their car, while Barbara's 6-year-old son slept in the back seat. The kid woke up, wandered miles to a farmhouse, and told police a monster did it. Creepy, right? Police initially pinned it on Barbara's husband, but he was in jail when similar killings started piling up. Fast forward to 1974, then 1981 through 1985. 7 more double murders, all following the same twisted MO couples, usually young, parked in cars at night. The killer used a .22 Beretta pistol, sometimes stabbing victims with a knife, and in some cases, mutilating the women's bodies in ways I won't detail here. Let's just say it was sickening. The killer left no fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses, just shell casings and a whole lot of fear. By the 80s, Florence was on edge. Couples stopped parking in the countryside. Locals called the killer Il Mostro, the monster. Think Ted Bundy-level panic, but with no face to pin it on. The police were stumped and the body count kept climbing. So how do you catch a ghost? The Italian police tried everything, or so they thought. The investigation into the Monster of Florence was a mess, like something out of a true crime podcast gone wrong. They chased leads for 17 years, arrested dozens, and still came up empty. First, they focused on the 1968 murder. Barbara's husband, Stefano Mele, confessed, but the killings continued while he was locked up. Strike one. Then, in the 70s and 80s, they rounded up a parade of suspects. Local creeps, drifters, even a guy nicknamed the Monster for unrelated reasons. None panned out. By the mid-80s, the police got desperate and started chasing wild theories. One big lead was Pietro Pacciani, a farmer with a rap sheet for violence. In 1994, they convicted him, claiming he was the monster. The evidence? Sketchy witness testimonies and some sketchier gut feelings. But get this, Pacciani was acquitted on appeal, and the killings didn't match his timeline perfectly. Then there was the Sardinian Trail. Police thought the early murders tied to a Sardinian family feud, but that fizzled out too. And don't get me started on the conspiracy theories. Some cops even thought a satanic cult was behind it, like Italy's version of the Manson family. They arrested a couple of Pacciani's buddies, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti, but the case against them was flimsier than a dollar store tarp. The real kicker? The police never found the murder weapon, and forensic tech back then wasn't what it is now. No DNA, no surveillance cams, just a whole lot of dead ends. It's like the monster was laughing at them from the shadows. All right, so who was the Monster of Florence? Even today, Nobody knows for sure, and that's what makes this case so maddening. Let's break down the top theories. Theory 1. The lone psycho. Most experts think the monster was one guy, a Ted Bundy or BTK type. The consistent MO, the same .22 Beretta, and the way he vanished without a trace point to a single methodical killer. But if it was one person, how'd they dodge the cops for 17 years? Theory 2. The cult. This one's wild. Some investigators believed a group, maybe a satanic sect, was behind the killings. They pointed to the mutilations and rumors of occult activity in Tuscany. Sounds like something out of Stranger Things, but there's no hard evidence. Theory 3. The wrong man. What if the police had the monster and let him go? Pacciani's conviction fell apart, but some still think he was involved, maybe with others. Or maybe the real killer was someone they never even looked at, a cop, a politician, someone with power. The case didn't just haunt Italy, it went global. American author Douglas Preston wrote a bestseller, The Monster of Florence, which reads like a mix of true crime and horror. It even inspired movies and TV shows like Hannibal, where the monster's vibe creeps into the story. This case is Italy's Zodiac. It's Jack the Ripper, a puzzle that keeps true crime junkies up at night. But here's the scary part. The monster might still be out there. The last murder was in 1985, and with no statute of limitations on murder in Italy, the case is technically still open. Could new tech, like DNA, crack it? Or will the monster take his secrets to the grave? The Monster of Florence isn't just a case. It's a nightmare that's haunted families, cops, and an entire city for decades. 16 lives were stolen, and the truth is still out there, buried in the hills of Tuscany. Was it a lone killer, a cult, or something even darker? One thing's for sure. This monster changed Florence forever, proving that evil can hide in the most beautiful places. What do you think? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're as obsessed with the unexplained as I am, smash that like button, subscribe to Hexed Truths, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the dark. Got a case you want us to cover? Let me know below. Until next time, stay curious, and maybe don't park on that lover's lane.